Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Techpoint Africa Podcast. I am Oluwanifemi. This sounds weird because this is what Emmanuel does almost every time we do this podcast. But today, you're not going to see Emmanuel or hear from him. Neither are you going to see Chimgozirim or Bolu. You're stuck with me today. And as you are getting to be used to, every Tuesday, our releases are based on topical conversations where we invite industry experts to come and discuss issues that are pressing, issues that people need to know about, and that is what we are doing here today. And today we'll be discussing an interesting topic, that something that has put African creatives on the world map, and it's very interesting because it is what many people, is a platform that many people have gotten to express themselves and let people know what they are doing across the world, no boundaries on them. And we are talking about the creator economy. We will address the whole concept of the creator economy. Then we will try to find out how African creatives are contributing to the boom that the economy is getting. I'm not the one that will be doing this conversation. I have two guests today joining me in the studio, both physically and virtually. Here with me in the studio is Femi Taiwo. Femi Taiwo is the CEO of TERAWORK, a self-service online freelance market space that is plugging African talents into the global workforce. And it's just like Fiverr. I think that is what we are very used to here. And he's live here with me in the studio. Hi, Femi. Great to have you here with us today.
Hi, Femi. Here to connect with you.
All right. And also joining us virtually is Douglas Kendyson. He's the CEO of Selar, an online store builder for anyone looking to monetize their knowledge or skill via digital products like ebooks, courses, services, and every other thing that you can sell virtually, digital products. Hello, Douglas. Nice to have you here with us virtually.
Hi, Nifemi. Thanks. My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Really glad to be here.
All right.
Virtually.
Yeah, glad to have you too. But before we dive into the conversation, I would like to tell us that this podcast is proudly sponsored by the Techpoint Africa business team and the Wizu app. The Wizu app is an innovative solution that gets you paid for every time you report a traffic violation. It's like you're getting paid for being a snitch. You don't get stitches, you get paid. So when you download the app on the Google Play Store, it's yet to be on the Apple App Store. But for now, it's on the Google Play Store. When you download it, you can capture any traffic offense on the road. Maybe somebody ran the red light or someone is trying to bribe a traffic official. So you just capture it either as a photo or the video, then you send it to them, and you get paid. Like you get a cut from the fine that person gets. Right? It's cool. So you can go ahead and download the app. Let us know what your experience is on the app. We're not saying you should get some people in trouble for doing nothing. Don't go and capture somebody's split number that is parked in their garage. But just do that. Go to Google Play Store, download the Wizu app, use it, and let us know about your experience. We also drop a link in the description. So now let's get into the conversation. For the uninitiated, let me start with you, Taiwo. What we've always known is the gig economy. I think it took a lot of time to get used to. But now, while we are still trying to get used to that, there's the creator economy, or they call it the passion economy. So as a person that works in the field, mostly for the gig economy, but founders try to find a way to move into what is trending. So what do you think, how would you explain the creator economy, and how does it differ from the gig economy?
Well, thank you, Nifemi, for the question. And let me try to answer it not, in the academic way, but, as pragmatic and as practical as it can be. First, I would say gig economy, it has had many names. You could call it freelancing. You could call it short-term employment. We call it, short-term contract and all sort of, things like that. And it's all about, working not on a permanent basis. And then mostly jobs are done, on platforms like TERAWORK, like other platforms that we have that are popular, and it's close to, working in an office. Only that it's for either a quick task, a short-term project, or maybe a recurring that is not anything but a full-time. And within the gig economy, covers all manner of professions, which creative, economy is inside it. I mean, take for example at TERAWORK, we support about 58 services, and I think that more than 70% of those jobs or services are, can be classified as in the creative economy. I mean, when you are making video, when you are making voiceover, when you are doing writing services and all sort of service that can be classified under creative economy, then it's both overlapping both with gig economy and creative economy. But for creative economy, you're talking about people that it's more of a passion thing. You are creating content, monetizing it. It's all about intellectual properties, using your creative abilities to earn income. And one common thing I will say about it is that, guys who are in this creator economy tend to kind of have a income that might not seem linear, in the sense that this same piece of work will earn you different pay depending on the audience you are selling them to and all sort of things like that. And it's driven by passion. You see them trying to, maybe somebody who's a celebrity and he has his own, league of followers, try to leverage that to get more than necessary or usual or common thing. Those are the things that we say, a major difference. Whereas for gig economy, it could necessarily be that you are offering services that we can't really classify under, the creative economy. Take, for example, you are doing things like legal services or accounting, as the case. Even some tech project could be maybe troubleshooting a problem. We can classify that. It's when you are using tech to create a new feature that you can put that under creative economy. I hope that helps.
Yes. You mentioned some basic points around how you get to learn, how you get to earn. Sometimes you don't get to be paid for your passion when you're in the gig economy, right? But when you're in the creator economy, people know that this is what you like to do, so you get paid for it. Then you mentioned a very important point about it depends on the audience, that your pay depends on the audience, right? So that's why I'll go to Douglas now. You have a platform that helps people to get their digital product to the faces of audience. So from your own point of view, how would you classify the creator economy? Would you say the gig economy is, if you want to put them on a scale, would you say the gig economy is way above the creator economy, or this overlapping is just something that will blend later in the future?
I think from what we've learned, and I think from just the industry so far, the creator economy, or the passion economy, and I guess as other people call it, has sort of been like a step in addition to the gig economy. So I mean, in terms of like typical jobs, a lot of people in the gig economy, we had this scenario by like Uber and things, have people have created apps, and then if you want to do a job for somebody, people maybe make a post and then you apply for the job and then you get the job. However, still in the pursuit of people getting like financial freedom and also just really owning their time, the passion economy has come up where, unlike a system like in the gig economy where you don't really own anything, and then a lot of the work that you do is based on like people making requests and all of that, and the commission is not even fully owned to you. With the creative economy or the passion economy, you get to create your own value. You get to have your own audience. It's yours. And you also, and in that like scenario, you also get to monetize that audience your own way on your own terms. I think those are one of the like the very key things to like differentiate this two here. So I'll give you an example. In the gig economy now, when you do a job, you need to be present. You need to do that with your time. However, with like things that people do in the passion economy or the digital products, you create an ebook once, you put it out. You don't have to actively write an ebook for somebody every time. Does that make sense? You can create a course. The course is like a lifelong thing. You can monetize your audience in that way. And in the gig economy, you don't really get to monetize an audience. And even if you bring in an audience from your following to the gig economy sort of swallows your audience because it's typically like a marketplace and then you don't own anything. However, with the creative economy, you just I keep saying creative. I'm just gonna stick to creator for all through the interview. But you get to keep your own audience, you get to monetize your own audience on your own terms, and you get to enjoy that experience. I guess those are key things I would say to differentiate them.
That's deep in a way, because for anyone that is listening to this now, if they are going to choose where they will play in, they probably choose the creator economy because they get to be the face of whatever it is they are producing. When it comes to freelancing, you might not be able to put a face or own whatever it is you're producing. But yeah, before we go on in the conversation, I want us to get a message from our sponsor, the Techpoint African Business Team.
Hi, I'm Abisola Adenoga, the head of business at Techpoint Africa. Did you know that you could present yourself as a reputable brand leader? Did you know that your business can get the limelight it deserves? Now you do. Using Techpoint Africa's marketing tools, we can put you in the faces of a large audience for brand awareness and thought leadership. To do this, reach out to us by sending an email to business@techpoint.africa or click on the link in the description below.
So are they just going to cut this in?
Okay, welcome back from that short break. Let's get back to the conversation. So there's a recent survey that shows that the creator economy grew by more than 550% between 2016 and 2020. And it has also been predicted that by the end of 2021, the industry will have grown to be a whooping $30.8 billion industry. That is huge. It's huge, right? But then let's come to the reality of the markets that we play in the African market. What we know how to do best is to be creative, because there are a lot of problems. So we're trying to find ourselves a way to navigate around them. So going by these stats and the predicted growth in the creator economy, how do you think the African creatives are contributing to this boom? Taiwo.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for that once again. First, thanks to technology and then, various platforms that are available today for this to happen, for people to express themselves. And thanks to even smartphones, that even from there, some people could start making and creating their content. And that exactly is, a hope that we have that, African creators will be able to, contribute massively into this. And thanks to platforms that are beginning to come up, the likes of TERAWORK and maybe Selar, that is supporting this in a way to make creators be able to sell and offer their services to audience beyond, their physical reach and country. Thanks to platform like TERAWORK, where we support multiple currencies, where those who are offering those services could charge in currency that they are convenient to work with, Naira in most cases, and if you have means to get in USD or pound sterling or other currencies, fine. And then the currency at which with which your buyers pay you does not have to necessarily be your currency, and that eliminates a problem that could be a barrier for some of them, in selling to audience beyond their country. So TERAWORK, in its own little way, we are contributing to that, to see that we can have a passion, a share of the boom that is coming here.
Right. In African creative way, they are doing, because based on what you explained, when say somebody in the US needs a service, can as well get the expertise of an African from a platform. Yes, that's in one way it is. Douglas, there are a lot of people that are optimistic that the African creator economy is going to be a huge part of this global boom, say come in another 3 to 4 years. Do you agree with that? And how do you think African creatives can get to that point where there will be like a huge force to reckon with when it comes to the global creator economy?
Um, so just like I said, I mean, he is right. I mean, for this to work, I think when I think of the success of e-commerce in Africa, I really think, and I was saying this at some event, and I really think a huge part of this actually falls down to payments and making payments work across the continent. I mean, it's really unfortunate that payments is still very much like an issue. Because at the end of the day, if you create really great value, if people cannot pay for it, then it's of no, it, like there is no business where money is not being transacted. So I think platforms like TerraCulture, platforms like Selar, really going the extra mile to make everything seamless. I think we are supported in almost like 10 African countries today, and really are pushing for like more integrations across board, because payments needs to work for everything to work smoothly. And I mean, like he also said, when it comes to like, I don't want to actually just be repetitive, but even when he talked about just payments across borders, like international payments. And so it's not just us selling it locally, it's also selling internationally. That's the best for like international FX and all of those things. And I see that playing a big role in how we push and how the creator economy grows a lot. And I mean, even when it comes down to the last thing I would probably mention would be investments. I think investments in more platforms, investments in more funds that support creatives will definitely help in boosting the creator economy of Africa.
Hmm. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. It's great that you mentioned the issue of payment, and it reminds me of an event that TechPoint is currently planning, that is scheduled to hold on the 26th of November. It's a Saturday, it's a weekend in November, and the event is the FinTech Summit, which we discuss the FinTech in everything. That is basically the theme, the FinTech in everything. Your platform wants to make payments seamless to gig workers. Seller is trying to make sure the digital product of creatives in Africa gets to larger audience and they get paid for it. So we are going to be discussing things around financial inclusion, embedded finance, DeFi. The thing is, embedded finance is like a huge part when it comes to creating digital products in Africa, and this is one of the things we'll be discussing at the FinTech Summit that will be holding on the 26th of November 2022. The early bird ticket is currently on, and you can visit fintech.techpoint.africa, fintech.techpoint.africa to get your ticket. We also drop the link in the description so that you can go and get more information on the event. And I want to know, I think I should go back to Douglas now. I want to know because given how the creator economy is really attracting creatives, because, well, it is like you just give people a chance to say you can get paid for whatever it is you can do. Either you are making noise or you are singing truly, or you know how to do skits or something like that. There are platforms, there is YouTube, for instance. YouTube is a huge part of the contributor to the creator economy. But what would you say when this economy is getting, will I say, crowded? Because everyone wants to be heard, everyone wants to be seen. So how would you advise that a person that is just coming into the creator economy can, what would you advise that person can do to be able to have an edge and be a contributor, or somebody that we gain from this $1 billion estimated industry?
So interestingly, I think one of the things that running Seller and seeing like tens of thousands of creators use our platform has taught me is, I think being unique is a little overrated. I feel like, and I mean, you should be unique, because yeah, I would say please be unique, because yeah, people want to see something different at the end of the day based on whatever like value you're bringing to the table. But I think from what I've seen, being unique is also just not that it's not as special. And I don't know if that's that sounds redundant, but I think I see a lot of creators selling almost different versions of the same thing, mostly packaged differently. And I mean, this is not even something that I would say is common to Selar. I mean, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're teaching a programming language like PHP. I'm very sure there would be at least tens of thousands courses teaching people how to learn PHP language, and all their top tables of content are basically the same. And you might even not, I wouldn't be surprised to see that most of the examples are even the same. Everything is the same. Maybe they're changing like the name of a thing. And it's like, and in that case, it's so easy for people to think that, oh, I need to be so unique in the way that I do my thing. And I mean, yes, that definitely helps. But most of the time, you need to do what hopefully gives you joy and find the right audience. And hopefully you will make money in this system. So, and I mean, I hope this is not misconstrued to mean that, oh, don't be unique or don't try to do something different, because all of these things indeed give you an edge in this very saturated market. But I also think that the idea of uniqueness in a way that stifles people from making from making a move, I think people should ignore that for now. Get working, start doing something that you are excited about, that you're really looking forward to doing, and you will hopefully earn your share of this.
I hope I'm quoting you well if I say, just start, don't try to be unique.
Honestly, and the thing is, I guess, and the thing is, people obsess about what is going to be my unique advantage so much that they realize that even just you doing something makes you unique and different. I mean, it's like, how many product management courses are there? And I don't even know why I'm just thinking of super technical things. Even like baking recipes, all of the things, so many things. Like, start your thing. You are unique in your own way, and hopefully you will also find uniqueness as you go along the way. And I think you're better off trying to find an audience that connects with you and that is interested in what you're doing. And yeah, most of the time you will find uniqueness along the way. But overthinking it is not going to help.
Any creator out there that is thinking, oh, how would I do this? Would people like my content? You just heard from Douglas. Don't overthink it. Just start. Taiwo, you want to contribute to that?
Yeah, I think I want to. Okay. Personally, for me, it's beyond the passion or creative economy. It's do with a passion or don't do it at all. And so that you do it with full passion or you don't do it at all. And let us also have that one understanding to that. When we're talking about creative economy, it's not just about creating that short skits, that small procedure, that small ebooks and all that. As it pertains to TERAWORK, it cuts across writing. I'm helping somebody to put book together. I'm writing poem for someone. I'm an architect. I'm making drawings of building. Or somebody's asking me to help with maybe 3D modeling of a building, and probably allow me to be creative in the way I do, come up with the answer and all that. It's about somebody telling me his problem and developing a software that respond or, kind of make that happen. And, it's, let's not see beyond as limited to things like short videos and all that kind of stuff. You expand across much more than that, the way I see it and for us. And then, when you have a platform that you have thousands of users, and our algorithm is one thing that will figure you out or fish you out, just like on Google. When you're looking for a result, you search something and then the result is on page 5 or page 6. Probably you are not visible. Then you have to do some few things, to take you to probably the top of the page so that they can see. And just imagine on TERAWORK, for example, I say I need top logo designer to help me develop a logo for my new brand or something. And then you search logo designer on TERAWORK and you are seeing like 5 pages or 10 pages of results. And then we always tell our freelancers that, look, you need to walk yourself to the first page. Like you said that, of course, don't overthink it. I agree. But you still have to kind of stand out in a way. No, we look at everything, your behavior on our platform, the way you build your profile, make it simple and easy for anybody to really understand what you're offering. In fact, without that, we not even come publish our platform in the first place. And then beyond that, we are looking at, your overall performance in terms of reviews that people you've worked for are writing for you. And if they are, if your job success rate, how many jobs have you done? How many of them are successful? What is the percentage of success you have? All those things in a way contribute to how valuable our platform sees you. And of course, we want to promote or present those who are doing very well so that the buyers can come back, of course, when they get good service from our platform.
Yes, another major point, aside from starting, it is standing yourself out, have a good presentation, be visible to people. Yes, and this particular question, it's not like trying to hate or something, but we've seen global platforms recognize African creators. For instance, now YouTube has like an annual YouTube Black Creators Award that goes to several African creators. Many of them come from come to the popular YouTubers that we know, CCME, Fisayo Foshido, right? We've seen some of them get this award. But I'm curious, is African really gaining or benefiting from this creator economy? Africa as a continent.
I mean, those who are not creating, you mean?
Yes, like African. So we understand that we are getting the eyeball, like people are noticing us, but what's the benefit on Africa as a continent, aside from the individuals?
Yeah, okay. Mentioning some of these celebrities that we have seen and people that kind of YouTubers recognize, as a major contributor in terms of that. It also means that they could advertise your product for you and for me, and then you have the visibility that you need. For example, because they seem to have a lot of followers, following them on those platforms, kind of, and a business could take advantage of that and engage one of them to maybe do an ad for me, talk about my brand and all that, because there's hope of me becoming visible. I can see that, directly as what the rest of African could gain from this, which in a way is even money for the guys that are getting, to the top on those platforms.
Yes, I'm not very, very, very satisfied with your response, because that is still a gain to the individual that is the creator. And Douglas, do you really think Africa is gaining from the recognition that African creators are getting, or is it just everybody just fight for themselves and get the glory and the goodies and leaving the continent out?
Right. So I feel like that's a tricky question because, technically the Africans in the press are Africans in Africa in this case. So I guess if we're being very literal, then I guess they are benefiting. And in some way, these people spend their money in Africa. So technically Africa is benefiting. That's a very like shady, broad answer in that way, but but I think it definitely still helps. I think seeing Tayo Aina, who's also like a creator on Selar, and also CCME, be recognized on a global level and for their work, for their talent, it definitely still helps other African creators that are coming to also get that same kind of respect in the long run. I really think that matters a lot in the grand scheme of things, if you ask me. Yeah.
I'm a little bit convinced, but that is something I understand now. So for one, it brings recognition to Africa as a continent, and people recognizing when it comes to more people that wants to come into the scene, they will be encouraged in a way. And then when people want to view Africa in a way, then those are the people that are influencing the way. Okay, now I think I'm convincing myself. Yeah, I get that. Okay, yeah. So let's at this point discuss what do you think might be the odds on the way for African creators to enjoy this boom that the creator economy is experiencing? Any challenges that they might be facing?
Yeah, okay. They should come out and then, register with the right platform that we springboard them into this boom. Kind of TERAWORK is there, and then what Douglas is doing at Selar could also be a good springboard. And of course, support for those platforms as well. TERAWORK also needs support in one form or another, in any form, just beyond investments or money and all that kind of stuff, to help say that we are helping these creators get value for whatever thing they're bringing to the table. And I will say that, and more support maybe from government as well in terms of seeing this payment thing, which, forces us sometimes to register, incorporate in other countries to be able to support this, so that at the end of the day, we could support these creators, get paid in the currency that they are most convenient for them to receive their payment at the end of the day. And, when you look at the Western world, there are a lot of platforms, want to start mentioning them, from Udemy to YouTube to Coursera to Etsy, and all manner of platforms that is supporting these creative, guys. We need more also in Africa, and so that we can really get plugged into these booming opportunities.
I like that you went straight to the solutions. Douglas, what do you think is working against creators in Africa rather, at this point?
Okay. I mean, I think I would say, do I have two or three things? I mean, number one, I would say is fraud. Fraud is always quite a challenge. I think it's really unfortunate the impact fraud has on innovation. And I'm saying that as someone that has worked at payment companies where it's like so many great things want to be released, but it's like fraud is just stopping things. And most of the time you will have to either like chuck the losses or stop the innovation. And I think in a world where there's less fraud, I think it'll be really great for like innovation. So that's one thing. The second thing would be like, I mean, fraud is also just tied to better payments and more payment options. I think right now, payments via Flutterwave for Kenyan shillings has not been available for a while now, and there are almost zero to no other alternatives. And that limits a lot of companies that are trying to collect payments in Kenya. And it's very unfortunate, but we need more companies or we need more systems that support better payments and that are available. And that's one of the reasons why I just really love and respect Flutterwave, because like the work that they have done in making everything work is not easy, and it's not a small feat, and they deserve all the respect. But so payments definitely needs to work, fraud needs to go, or at least be reduced, or just have better systems that reduce fraud. Those are things that, and I mean, I guess the last thing will be like funding. I mean, more startups, like he said, should be funded to provide services for creators everywhere. Funding, so I mean, it's not even the platforms, but also like creatives. I mean, I think 2 months ago we published a story with Guardian where we talked about the importance of now I cannot even remember the story that I want to reference. We talked about funding for creatives and having the option where creatives get to be funded based on their earnings and not just like typical loans. Again, I cannot remember this story, but these are things that really matter at the end of the day and hinder innovation for this industry.
Yes. Yes, you both mentioned how it's important, aside from payment and funding, mentioned how platforms like this, there have to be more of them, and the ones that are existing should get funded. So I think we should end with this part of the conversation where I'll start with Douglas. What is the selling point that Selar has that would make a creator to leave a foreign platform and come and use yours?
So I just remembered the thing I was trying to reference. It's called revenue-based funding.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a funding system where you get to pay your interest based on like your earnings as opposed to just like a fixed. And it's very special and good for creatives. And I think funds like that could really, really make a dent. But yes, to answer the question, what should make someone switch from their international platforms to Selar? I mean, what we've really done over the last couple of years is build a very robust solution for creators anywhere. So whether you need a sales page builder to sell your digital products, you have that. Whether you want to do anything cost, so basically anything you want to do, it's done. But then also in addition to that, we've also just done a lot of work in understanding the Nigerian system and making it work. So today we have payments in about 12, 13 currencies: Naira, Ghana cedis, Kenyan shillings, South African rands, dollars, pounds, South Africa, francs. And all of those integrations are done automatically for you when you sign up. You get all those currencies in less than 5 minutes when you sign up. We make it very easy for cross-border trade. I think one of the biggest trends that we saw over the last year is that a lot of the products Nigerians sell, they not just sell locally, but they also sell internationally to other African countries. And this is something that we power and we're very excited about. We built a very robust solution for any kind of digital products. We really are putting in the work to ensure that like people also don't get to pirate your ebooks. These are things that you get for free when you sign up on Selar. So yeah.
Yes. So thank you very much for that, Douglas. Let's end with you.
Yeah,
Femi,
okay.
what is the selling point that
At
TERAWORK
TERAWORK, well, okay, I think payment too. We mentioned we support 14 currencies altogether, 5 from Africa. That is Naira, Ghana cedi, Kenya shilling, South Africa rand, I think Rwanda currency, and then the rest are from Europe, America, and Asia. And then so for buyers who are coming to use our freelancers, they have option to pay with any of these currencies, and our system does automatic conversion so that the freelancers can get paid, in their local, at least 5 from
black
Africa.
Market prices or official rates.
And so to get it settled for them, at least they get paid, and they get paid at good rates. Second is a commission we charge. If you compare us with the rest freelance platform that's all there out there, we actually charge the lowest. Compared with them, between 7 and 13%, which is quite low compared with like average of 20% that you do on similar freelance platform, abroad. And we focus more importantly on African talents or creators that seems neglected or are struggling, not because they're not competent on other platform, but because kind of they can't just find some of them are discriminated against in those platforms, but they are welcome without us compromising on quality. And then the market nuance, African nuances, understanding African businesses, which some businesses to have problem getting abroad. When you go to maybe the likes of other foreign platforms like Fiverr, Upwork or so, the kind of freelancer I may not really understand your need very well, like the Nigerian guy who may understand some regulatory requirements that need to be put in place while working on your solutions. And these make us stand out. We see a lot of people who have used other platform and then couldn't get what they need and coming to use our platform and find answers. There are people who try to use foreign platform and maybe they need some local services within Nigeria. They are still outside of Africa. They need services maybe in places like Port Harcourt, in places like, let's say, Abeokuta or Osogbo, but couldn't get freelancers on another foreign platform outside Lagos. They find us, kind of. So in terms of penetration and all that, I think we have some edge that could make us more attractive in all those regards and compare with other platforms.
Yes, thank you very much, Femi. You can check out, we've written a feature on TERAWORK and Selar. So you can check that out in the description on the Techpoint Africa podcast. Thank you very much, Femi. Thank you very much, Douglas, for joining us today. I believe we've all gained valuable insights from what we've discussed today. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comment section. Also subscribe and click, because every Tuesday and every Thursday you receive the Techpoint Africa podcast. You don't want to miss the weekly roundup of stories in the African tech ecosystem and also insights from industry experts. And I'm sure you're looking forward to another interesting conversation next week, so don't miss it. Click on the notification bell so that you get notified. For our viewers on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok, we can get your feedback. Thank you very much. And you can listen to the Food Podcast on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and everywhere else you get your podcast. Thank you once again for joining us. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.